Hey guys, and welcome back to Beat 'em Up Joes. I'm Kelly Hampton, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at some of my most recent pickups, some of the most recent games that I've added to my video games collection. But this isn't just any pickups video. Most of these games relate to a game that I'm excited to see at E3 this year, which starts tomorrow. I'm so excited. So I picked out a bunch of games from games that I've picked up recently that relate in one way or another to games that I'm excited to see at E3 this year. So without further ado, let's take a look. Hey guys, welcome back. Like I said, tomorrow E3 starts. We're going to be starting with the EA conference in the afternoon time. So I thought it would be a cool idea to pick games out of my most recent pickups that relate to games that I'm excited for at E3, except for the obligatory Super Nintendo games. I'm going real hard on collecting Super Nintendo right now, so I'm picking up just about anything I can get a hold of, like my first pickup here in this box. So in this box, I've got a few things. But most importantly, I have a yellow Super Nintendo. Now, the reason I picked this guy up is, as you guys know, I just started a series of videos about making easy repairs to consoles, and this is one of my next things that I'm going to do. This console is yellowed not by fault of like smoking your home or being exposed to sunlight or anything like that. This is actually a chemical reaction to the chemicals that were placed in the plastic for fire prevention. So this actually can be reversed. I have to gather the products to do so, but I will be doing a video about removing the yellow from this Super Nintendo, and I will also be giving this guy away in that video to someone randomly in the comments. But also along with this Super Nintendo, I'll be giving away a copy of Super Mario World. If you have a Super Nintendo, you have to have Super Mario World. So I thought that would be a great one to give away with this Super Nintendo, so definitely keep an eye out for that. And there's some other cool things that came with the Super Nintendo. These grips on these controllers, these are called the Super Score, and I've never seen these before, but they're pretty cool, and I think they're pretty comfortable. I haven't actually used them to play some games yet, but I'm really excited to try that out. Also in this lot, I got, you know, the original AC adapter and composite cords, but I also got an RF switch. I think this guy actually came with the NES, but you know, this is cool to have. You know, it's just history. I'm not going to use this, of course, but it's fantastic to have. Really happy to have seen that in this lot. So that's a Super Nintendo that's going to be featured in a Beat 'em Up Joe's Retro Repair Shop video, and like I said, I'll be giving away that Super Nintendo along with that copy of Super Mario World, so definitely keep an eye out for that. The Nintendo also needs some cleaning, that Super Nintendo, so I saw this guy at my local shop and I decided to pick it up. It's really cool, complete in box. It's got the little manual guy in here and everything. So I was really happy to grab that guy. Very cool stuff. Show you the back of this guy. We're having some chroma key issues here, but you know, it's the first time I've used a green screen. I just got this guy. I got me some lights and my green screen. I'm happy to use it. We've got some Galaga playing in the back there. I super saturated the colors and the brightness. So it's a little bit goofy. It's not quite the effect I was going for, but hey, first try, you know, I really dig it so far. Moving on Super Nintendo games that I've picked up recently, I got Super Mario All-Stars. This is the Player's Choice Edition. So this is the Million Sellers version. This one is not the one with Super Mario World in it, but you know, the first 3 Super Mario games that we got in the US remastered for 16-bit consoles. They're pretty cool. One cool thing about this version of the original Super Mario Brothers that I just found out recently actually is that In the original Super Mario Bros., when Mario would hit a block, he would be forced downward. In this version of Super Mario Bros., he actually keeps moving upward. So it's a cool, neat thing to know, some neat trivia. And also on here, you have the first release of Lost Levels here in US. We all know that that was the original Super Mario Bros. 2 that we did not get over here. We instead got that redo of Doki Doki Panic, and I actually really like Super Mario Bros. 2 or Super Mario Bros. USA. Blew my mind when I finished the game and I was like, oh, this was all a dream. Really cool stuff. Very happy to add that to my Super Nintendo collection. Next, for Super Nintendo, I have Arkanoid, Do It Again. This is, Block Breaker. It's very cool, Brick Breaker, whatever you call that game. It's the little guy that goes back and forth on screen, hitting the ball up and breaking the bricks. Very cool game, lots of fun. It's a high score game. It's really cool. And there are several versions of these games, and I believe the Arkanoid on the Nintendo consoles are the ones that have Mario in the little ship. I'm not positive on that. I have not actually tried this guy out yet, but if so, that's really cool. I've seen one before that's that way, but Arkanoid is fun. I've played different versions of that and had a lot of fun with it. So next in my Super Nintendo collection, and this one's probably not going to go over very well with the green screen because this background is green, so it's kind of a cool effect though. But this is Tiny Toons Buster Busts Loose. I've always heard really good things about this. It's a platformer. I've played another Tiny Toons game on the NES. That one was a lot of fun. Really excited to check this guy out. Next on the Super Nintendo, I have another copy of Madden 97. This one's got some names written on it. I don't think you guys can see that, but I'll get some pictures and put them in the video. This says Josh H. Very cool. I love, names written on carts and rental stickers and that sort of thing. So this is cool to add to my collection. Next Super Nintendo game I have here is WWF Raw. I have not played this one yet either. I just picked these up very recently, so haven't played them yet, but it's another WWF game. This is an LJN title. This is like Super WrestleMania that I didn't much care for, but we'll check this one out. Maybe we'll like it. Next, this is the last Madden in my loose Madden collection. So I have a complete loose Super Nintendo Madden collection now, and I'm very excited to have this guy. I was very excited to find that, and something interesting about this one is it actually says made in Puerto Rico. That's the first time that I've seen these, so I'm going to have to do some more research on the made in Puerto Rico carts and see if I can find anything out about them. Very cool. Glad to have that guy. Next, I have another copy of NFL Quarterback Club 96. Like I've said before, doubles that I get on Super Nintendo or other consoles for that matter, I'm going to be giving away. So definitely be on the lookout for a giveaway for Madden NFL Quarterback Club 96. These are fun because of the quarterback training drills where you're like throwing footballs through tires, running courses and stuff. Those are a lot of fun. The football's not as fun as, say, Tecmo Ball or Madden, but these are fun games for the mini game collection. Next, I have a really, really special one. I'm glad to have finally added this to my collection. I paid a little much for it, but I bought these with some credit at my local store, so I wasn't too worried about it. So I finally have a copy of Super Metroid. Very, very excited to finally have this in my collection. This is a fantastic game. Probably one of the best Metroid games in the series. It's definitely the most playable. There's some really cool sections in this where the alien creatures that are indigenous to the planet are doing maneuvers teaching you how to like wall jump and the super run and the super jump and that sort of thing, and the jump up to the ceiling. Very cool ideas. There are also a lot of sections that kind of teach you, by getting through that section, it teaches you how to use a certain weapon. Very smart done game. It's really, really cool. If you've not played Super Metroid, it's on the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. Go grab you one of those guys. Emulate Super Metroid. Fantastic game. Very happy to finally add that to my collection. Next is another game that I'm super happy to finally add to my collection, and that is Star Fox. This is another Super Effects chip game, and it's the original Star Fox. This one doesn't hold up as well as, say, Star Fox 64, but this is still a really cool game, and the first time I saw it, it just blew my mind. This is one of the first 3D games with 3D polygons on home consoles. It was a big deal. It was a really big deal. Star Fox is cool. Next, I have a edutainment game from Nintendo. I don't believe this was actually Nintendo developed. I believe this was developed by the Software Toolworks. That's what it says here. Maybe Nintendo helped in some development, but they used Mario's characters. And this is, like I said, this is Mario's Time Machine. This is an edutainment title. There's a lot of history and stuff in this. I've played a little of it before. I remember renting it when I was a child, and I remember thinking it was pretty cool. I didn't know any of the answers to the questions, because you answer quiz questions to progress in this game, and I didn't really know a lot of this stuff, but I had a lot of fun with it regardless. It can go either way, but I think it's a cool idea. Edutainment games are kind of one of my guilty pleasures, so I'm happy to finally add that guy to my collection. There's another game similar to that. It's called Mario's Missing. I have not gotten that one yet, but that one's similar type edutainment title. Next, I have another Nintendo developed first party game. This is Uniracers. This is a really cool game. It's kind of fast, and it moves quickly. It's got this whoop-de-doo motion, very much like Mohawk and Headphone Jack, like I was talking about in my Super Nintendo collection video. Very cool game. If you've not played Uniracers, when I got this, I put it in, and I couldn't stop playing it. I had a lot of fun with it. Next, I have a very highly regarded game for the Super Nintendo. This is Hyperzone from HAL, the folks behind Kirby and, a few other things. Very famous for, that's where Iwata came from, So, very cool game. I've played a little bit of it. I haven't played a whole heck of a lot of it, but I've played a little of it, and it's really cool. A lot of really cool Mode 7 effects in this. So definitely check out Hyperzone if you've never heard of it. If you've never played it, check out Hyperzone from HAL. But that's all the Super Nintendo games I have. Next, I have some games that my dad had in his shop at work. And they'd been laying around, and he was like, "Hey, do you want these?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So he finally brought them home for me, so I'm super happy to have them. I'm not a big NES collector, which is the bulk of this group here, but I'm very happy to have them. There's some cool games in here. But there were also 2 Game Boy games, and I do really like the Game Boy, so I'm excited to have these. First one is Casper. This is I've played a little bit of this. I can't get past the first boss encounter. It's a puzzle. This is kind of like a mini game collection, and I love mini game collections. Variety is very cool. I very much like the WarioWare series, especially the original on the Game Boy Advance. So I'm excited to give this some more time, and I'm really pumped about this. I've had a lot of fun with it so far. Next on the Game Boy, and the last Game Boy game in this section, is James Bond 007. I played a little bit of this, and it seems really cool because what I have played, you're kind of going around talking to people, and certain people need certain things for you to progress in the story. It feels a lot like they made a game out of the trading system in Link's Awakening. It feels a lot like that. It's a top-down perspective. Seems really cool so far. I'm excited to put some more time into this soon, and hopefully it's really good. I haven't heard anything about it. I'm not a huge Game Boy collector, but I do like the Game Boy a lot, and I'm excited to see more of what it has to offer. So James Bond, I'm pretty excited about as well. But that Casper game seems really cool. I'm excited to put a lot more time into that. So next is the NES games that my dad brought home for me. First is Goonies 2. I've always heard really good things about this one. Very happy to have gotten a hold of that. Next is Pinball Quest. Never played this. I had an NES back in the day, and I played a lot of games on it. But most of this stuff is stuff that I haven't heard of, so I'm excited to check it out. Pinball Quest I have never heard of, so I need to check that out soon. It's by Jaleco, so you know they make a lot of really cool beat 'em ups, so I'm excited about that. Next, I have a Zapper game. This is called Shooting Range, so that's probably pretty fun. I'll have to check that out. Next, I have Bike Rally. This is done by Romstar, which I'm not too familiar with NES stuff. I had one back in the day. I've got a few games on the NES are my favorites, but you know, the NES just doesn't strike me like it used to. Maybe if I get deeper into it, I'll really enjoy the NES. I know there's a lot of people out there that really do enjoy the NES a lot, but this is Romstar. This is Rally Bike, done by Romstar actually. Looks cool. Maybe it's cool. I like racing games. Next, probably one of the most important games in my life. This is one of the first games that I ever remember playing. I remember my dad bringing home an NES when I was really young, and this is the pack-in title that I got. You know, I had the Zapper and Duck Hunt and Super Mario Bros. And I remember the first time I played Super Mario Bros. I started the game. I figured out how to walk forward. I ran into that Goomba and I died, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And that's a great example, and you've heard this example many of times of how Nintendo teaches you how to play their games by just, you know, putting things in front of you. And that's exactly what happened there. I learned that you don't touch the Goombas. But ever since then, I've been obsessed with Mario and video games. So this is a very important game, especially this edition, to have in my collection. I'm very happy to have that. Next, I have Pinball. Now, this is first-party Nintendo Pinball. This is very cool. I have played a lot of this. I need to get back with there's a guy in the North American Nintendo NES collectors group that wanted to do a high score challenge on this guy, and I was like, yeah, I'm all for that. But then I got busy. I need to get back to that. I will be doing that soon. Hopefully you're watching this. But what's cool about this particular cart as well is it has a Sharpied name. So Kenneth Yates, if you're watching this, I have your copy of Pinball. It's in a great home, and it looks great in my collection. Thank you, man. Not like you gave it to me or anything, but I really like Sharpied name games. I like the history behind it. Next, I have Ice Hockey. Now, this is a game that I've never played. I think this is a Black Label title, but the label is blue. Maybe this is a redo of those Black Label titles. I've got a few of those in here, and I forgot to mention that on Pinball and Mario Bros. But this has the Sports Series logo on it, which makes me think that this was maybe a Black Label game, and maybe this is just a later reprint of it being blue. But I've never played this. Maybe it's good. I'm not positive. And then I have one more first-party title being Wrecking Crew. And this is part of the programmable series. I've played a little bit of Wrecking Crew in the past. I've never really gotten it, so maybe one of these days I'll get it, but I've never really gotten Wrecking Crew. It looks cool, but I've never really gotten the idea. Y'all may laugh at me for that, but those are the NES games and Game Boy games that I've gotten recently. Like I said, my dad found those at his shop at work, and he was like, hey, do you want these? And I gladly took them. So thanks for doing that, Dad. I appreciate it. So now we're going to get into the meat of this video. And this is going to be games that I've picked up recently that relate to games that I'm excited for at E3. So first in this stack is one of my favorite things that I've ever picked up. I really like this. Let me get the plastic off of it. I've kept the plastic on it because I think it's a really neat thing. But this is the Metal Gear Solid 4 Limited Edition. I was very excited to have gotten this. I found it on eBay for a really good price, I thought. I don't think it's worth a whole lot, but I've never seen one actually in the wild. So I'm really happy to have this. It's complete. Let me open this guy up here and I'll show you everything that comes in this. And it's got a very cool way that it opens. It's just got this like slip cover on the top there, and then you pull the games out of it. So, or the game. This is Metal Gear Solid 4. It's just, you know, the original release. But this one has a not for resale little blurb on it, you know, being part of this limited edition. So that's very cool. But it also comes with this awesome Blu-ray that is kind of like making of Metal Gear Solid 4. And it's really neat. It's got this little spoilers pamphlet over the Blu-ray. You know, you want to play the game before you watch this, as well as the soundtrack for Metal Gear Solid 4, or probably just a selected soundtrack. Well, it says original soundtrack, so that's probably the full soundtrack for Metal Gear Solid 4. Very cool package. Metal Gear Solid is one of my favorite series of all time, and I was very happy to pick this up. It's very cool. This relates to E3 this year because I want to see more of Death Stranding. Metal Gear was Kojima's baby, and when he had to leave Konami, he went to Sony and he started making a game called Death Stranding. Now, we still don't really know what in the world this game actually is, but like I said, I really like the Metal Gear Solid series, probably one of my favorite series of all time. So I'm really excited to finally see what it is that Kojima's been working on with Sony on Death Stranding. Hopefully this is the year that we finally get a glimpse of this game, but you know, we will just have to see. And I'll put that back in the plastic in a little while, I guess. It's taking a little bit more effort than I expected. But next we have Diablo for the PlayStation 1. I picked this one up because I really enjoyed it when I was younger. This is probably my favorite version of the original Diablo. It may not be complete. Hellfire's not in it and things like that. But I really liked the speed option that you could use on this, as well as the local 2-player. So very cool version of Diablo. If you've not played this, definitely check it out. One of my best memories of Diablo is when this guy came out, I rushed out and grabbed it with a buddy of mine, and we stayed up playing this game all night long. Like literally, we looked out the window and the sun had come up and we'd been playing Diablo all night long. So great memories. This is still a lot of fun. When this came in, I was still having a lot of fun with it. Very cool. And the reason that I'm showing this Diablo game and also another Diablo game is because I'm excited for Diablo 3 coming to the Switch. What we've heard, I think we're going to get confirmation of that at E3. And I've also heard talk about a new Diablo game that we probably won't see at E3 is my guess. We'll probably see a new Diablo reveal at BlizzCon at some point. But it'd be cool if we saw it at E3. That would be fantastic. But like I said, I do have another Diablo game that I've picked up recently, and this is the original version of Diablo 3 on the PS3. What's cool about this version of Diablo 3 to me is it's a preservation of the earlier versions of Diablo 3. I don't necessarily remember where this coincides as far as the updates to Diablo 3 happen, but I do remember that this came out around the time that Infernal Machine was happening, and you know, the key wardens and things like that. So this is kind of a time capsule that we'll always have on the PS3, and I'm very happy to have that, because you know, when Diablo 3 is done, that is an online game. The servers will go down. You will not be able to play that on PC anymore. I'm sure Blizzard will preserve that for some time, but there will come a time that Diablo 3 will not be available to us. So I'm very happy to have this guy. It's like a time capsule. Very cool stuff. And also about this copy of Diablo 3 is the logo is embossed. It's raised. So that's very cool. I've always loved that. So next I have kind of a grouping of games here, and that being the Call of Duty games. Now, this isn't a complete collection of Call of Duty games on the PS3, but just some that I happened to pick up. This is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I've never played a lot of Call of Duty games, so with the upcoming Black Ops 4, I decided to start playing some Call of Duty, see what all the hype is about. I've just never really been into the series or modern first-person shooters, but I thought now would be as good a chance as ever to start playing some of these. And the next series I have is the Black Ops series. I have all 3 Black Ops games, and I'm going to be playing through all 3 of these. I've started streaming this one. I'm doing a Let's Play stream series on the Call of Duty Black Ops series with Call of Duty Black Ops 4 coming out soon. We'll probably see some more on that at E3. That again comes out in October. So we'll probably be seeing some more of that at E3, just getting people hyped up for it. So this is Call of Duty Black Ops. Like I said, we started a stream on that this week. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Wait, how did I get 2 copies? But anyway, like I said, this is another double. I'll be giving one of these away. Keep an eye out for that on this Let's Play stream. When I get to Call of Duty Black Ops 2, I'll be giving this away to somebody on the stream. So you'll definitely want to watch those Let's Play streams, especially when I get to Black Ops 2. So be sure to subscribe and ring my bell. That way you're notified when I'm going live with these streams, and I'll be giving away a copy of Black Ops 2, which I have heard is the best in the series. Pretty much across the board, most people will say that Black Ops 2 is the best in the series. I'm excited to get there because Black Ops has not really completely blown me away yet. I don't know, it just hasn't gotten me there. But next is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. This one is multiplayer and zombies. So I think there is a campaign for Call of Duty Black Ops 3, but I do not have it yet. I'll have to seek that out. I wasn't aware of that until just now, actually. So I'll have to seek out the campaign version of this. That way I can finish out that stream. Alright, so that's all of my PS3 games. And next is the thing that I am most excited for this year at E3, bar none. And that being the possibility of the Resident Evil 2 remake finally coming to light. I'm so excited about this, guys. I cannot wait for E3, mostly because of this. We've been hearing a lot of things here lately. This supposed leak about news is coming at E3 2018, and I couldn't be happier. I really hope that we either see a trailer, or like I've said before, I would be fine if that guy walked out on stage, he had the big screen behind him with, you know, Resident Evil 2 Remake, and he's wearing a t-shirt that says, "We still do it," like in that famous video. I'll put a screen cap up here, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll see what I'm talking about. So
プロジェクト開発決定いたしました。ありがとうございます。もう本当言葉通り We do it やりま
So
した。
I recently picked up Resident Evil 2. This is the original version. This is not the DualShock version. I'll need to grab one of those as well. But this is the one that I had. This is complete. Very, very happy to have this. It's been a long time since I've held this. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Resident Evil 2 is very cool. My fingers crossed big time for that remake to be shown at E3. So I've just got one more Resident Evil game because I recently picked this guy up. There was a recent price drop on Resident Evil 7, $20 at your local Walmart and on Walmart.com. So if you have not played this yet, like I haven't, definitely check this guy out. I'll have a link down in the description to Walmart.com. You can order you a copy for $20. Recent price drop. I thought this was fantastic. I don't know why I didn't play this before. I was a little scared off by Resident Evil 6 and the first-person perspective deal. It just kind of scared me off a little bit, even though I'd heard really good things about it. But in my opinion, this is the most classic Resident Evil that we've gotten in a long time. It's really revitalized my love for Resident Evil, and I can't wait to see what they do next, especially if it's a Resident Evil 2 remake. Please do it.
We do it やりますよ。
I'm really excited, but I'm really excited to play more of this. I just played through the first scenario. I need to play that Chris DLC. Chris was weird in this, man. I think there's some weird stuff going on there. Please don't spoil it for me down in the comments, but say what you will about this guy, but Chris is a little bit weird in this. And you'll notice, and like I say, don't spoil this for me if you know more about this than I do, but you'll notice the guy says, "I'm Redfield." He doesn't say Chris Redfield. He says, "I'm Redfield." And that was the thing that I noticed about it. And the other big thing that I noticed about the end of this guy is when he's flying away, the helicopter says Umbrella. And that really kind of threw me through a loop. I've heard, maybe this is the good Umbrella or whatever. But those are not huge spoilers. I do apologize. I should have said spoiler alert. But those are not huge spoilers for the story. It's just kind of backstory stuff that Resident Evil fans will appreciate. If you have not played this, definitely check it out. Price drop. Go to your local Walmart and buy it. I've got a link down in the description for the game on Walmart.com. Pick this guy up. It's really, really good, especially if you have PlayStation VR. I cannot wait to get a PSVR headset to play this game. I had a blast with this game, guys. Very, very cool. Next, I have the most recent PS4 game that I've gotten, and it's God of War. I didn't much care for this, and I've been, a fair weather fan of God of War in the past. I like the games. I like the combo system. It's like a continuation of the beat 'em up genre to me, but this God of War just doesn't do it for me, man. I don't know what it is. I think I need to play more of it, but I've played a good, 15 hours of it, and it didn't grab me, so I just kind of gave it up for now. I will get back to it, see if I can find what it is that I missed, but I really enjoy the combat. The upgrade system is cool, the armors and all of that is really cool, but it's just the meandering around in between combat. I feel like I'm just kind of trying to find my way to the next combat encounter, and that really just kind of bummed me out. I wasn't a fan, but I will check out some more of this. I like the alternate cover. I love alternate covers, as is on my next game here. Those are all of my recent pickups, but I want to show off one more thing. I've had this since it had a price drop as well, and I love Bloodborne. This is the alternate cover, of course, This is not, the retail cover. But I'll be streaming this on Saturday after the EA conference. Be streaming pretty much all day into the wee hours of the morning. We're going to have a lot of fun with Bloodborne. But the reason why this is here, not only to plug that stream on Saturday, but also because I recently picked up the Old Hunters DLC when Bloodborne was free on PlayStation Plus. The Old Hunters DLC was also cheap for that month. So I picked that up here recently and really excited to play that. I haven't played that yet, obviously. But definitely catch me on that stream on Saturday after the EA conference. I don't know if I'm going to start right after the EA conference, but we're going to be streaming some Bloodborne on Saturday for quite some time. If you didn't catch my Resident Evil 2 stream last weekend, we had a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with Bloodborne as well. So really excited about that. Please join me on Saturday. And also, Bloodborne relates to this in the fact that I'm ready to see what this new From Software game is that was teased at the Video Game Awards last year. I've heard some talk about how that Shadows Die Twice quote that was in the teaser might be linking that to Tingshu, maybe, as that was something that was said in one of the original Tingshu games, or was in some text somewhere. So that might be what that is. I've never played a Tingshu game, but FromSoft is one of my favorite developers nowadays, and I can't wait to see what it is. I'd like it to be Bloodborne 2, like a lot of people are saying, but I'm not sure. I'm more on that Tingshu side after I've read some more about this and seen some of those videos. So definitely excited about what's coming from FromSoft. We'll probably see some more of that at E3 as well. But we're done with this video. I'm going to go do some editing, get this ready to put up in the morning. This is Thursday evening. This will be up Friday morning. And then on Saturday, we will begin E3 with that EA press conference at 11 Pacific, 1 Central Time here in Texas. But we'll start with EA on Saturday, and then we have that Bloodborne stream following that. I'll be streaming Bloodborne probably the rest of the day and into the early morning, so we're going to have a lot of fun with that. But I just want to say that I really appreciate you guys watching me. I'm having a lot of fun with this. Be sure to like, comment, get down in the comments, get some conversation going. I read every comment that comes by, and I try to reply as much as possible. Sometimes I just don't know what to say to certain comments, but especially if you ask me a question or something, I'll definitely respond and just get a conversation going. We're having a good time with this. Share with your friends, man. I need to get out in front of as many people as possible to keep this going. I have to get a certain amount of subscribers and a certain amount of views. You guys all know the spiel, but certainly subscribe if you've not already, and just keep me going. I'm having a lot of fun creating content for you. I hope that you're enjoying the content that I'm creating for you. The only way to keep that going is if you guys are subscribing and sharing with your friends and getting me as many subscribers as possible. But like I say, I really appreciate you. Keep watching my videos, and I'll keep cranking out cool content. One thing that I do want to mention before I leave is I've got some new equipment. As you can see behind me, I've got a green screen. We've got some Galaga playing up there. It was just the first thing that I could think of that would look cool behind me. I did up the color saturation and the brightness on that to kind of make it look like, CRT arcade cabinet back there. It didn't really come out the way I wanted it to, but I think it looks cool. So just the first thing that popped into my mind. That's why we got Galaga playing behind us. I've got some lights. I need to learn how to use my lighting better, but for first time out, I think it looks pretty cool. I had a lot of fun making this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, definitely hit that like button, get down in the comments, and I appreciate you for watching. Thank you, and we'll catch you next time on Beat 'em Up Joes. And definitely catch me on E3. Like I said, I'll be streaming from Saturday to Tuesday. The E3 kicks off with the EA conference on Saturday at 11 Pacific time, 1 Central Standard Time. I live in Texas, so I got to put Central Time out there. But thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you next time on Beat 'em Up Joes.